Holland, they were not so sure and they had to try out. And really, it started when they started to take young people to work. There was a big strike of the dock workers. They were mainly not Jewish. But the third day of this strike, they were shooting into these people and killing some of them, and that was the end of the strikes. And then it went very quick. And today, with all the research, we know that the percentage, not the number, of dead Jewish people from Holland is the highest of all of Europe. Poland, the percentage, it is the number that is so big, but the percentage was in Holland. And we also know today that the Queen that went in these 5 days of war, she fled to England with her ministers, that when she gave her speeches through the BBC to her people in Holland, she never mentioned you should help your Jewish friends. And that's very sad. We hope that the Queen likes all her citizens equally, but today we know that she never mentioned this. And much more people maybe would have thought of helping or would have helped. There was a lot of help, but there was much more help to the Germans. And when it started, Mr. Frank fixed a hiding place. He asked the 4 people in his office. Nobody knew about it, also the girls not, and we surely not, because the Germans could torture you and then you would tell things you never wanted to tell. We had now all these laws against the Jewish people. We all had to wear a yellow star. Everybody got an identity card, but we Jewish people got a big J printed inside also. We had to leave our school, we had to be at home at 8 o'clock at night till 6 in the morning, and then the Germans would come, the SS, with a list and take whole families from their home. Look, they never would say, we are killing all of you in Auschwitz by gas. They said, you are going to a working camp in the east. And then you hope father will work, mother will cook, and the children maybe learn or something. Nobody came back, and we didn't know. And people could write only a postcard once every 2 weeks with 25 words. And there they couldn't write, they are killing us here, we don't get food, and we have to work too hard. Then the card would have stayed with the censor in Germany. So we really didn't know. It's very easy today to say, why didn't you do this? And why didn't you go like sheep to slaughter? It was not so easy, and we really didn't know what's going on. There were rumors, but rumors you always hope they are not true. And now we couldn't buy in any shops. I don't know, you know all the details. They were in all the countries the same, I think. Okay. So now what happened was, my family got a special stamp. Why? We arrived in Holland with a German passport. A passport is expiring one day. And surely Germans will not send to Holland to Jewish people a new passport. So we got a piece of paper, because in Holland you have to live for at least 5 years. Then you can ask for a Dutch passport. We asked, but we never got it. And we got a piece of paper that was written that earlier we were German citizens, and now we are without any nationality. And my uncle, he wouldn't join us in Holland like my grandparents. He was a law student, and he still could go to Switzerland. And in the year 42, some 500 Jewish people in Switzerland could buy in a South American consulate a passport for a lot of money of one of their countries. So my uncle, that was a refugee, he had to lend money. And my grandparents got a passport of Honduras, my father, my sister, and me from Paraguay. And that was very important. The reason was the Germans wanted a very small group, some 4,000 Jewish people, to set aside and maybe one day to exchange us against German soldiers, prisoners of war by the English. And there was a second thing in the year 42, and we got a, okay, there were negotiations in Switzerland between Germany and England, and they made so-named Palestine exchange lists. Now everybody wants a place at the Palestine exchange list, but it was only for people, also for the same reason, to exchange us. It was for parents, people that had parents, children, or brothers and sisters here in this country, were stuck in Holland because you had to go by England. England was in a war, and we were stuck in Holland. So now we got a stamp, one stamp for two different things. And in meantime, the SS could take everybody, but not us with the stamps. So that was in 42. It started with this, okay, my sister, and so the people that lived in the country Holland had all that were not taken yet to move to a little ghetto in Amsterdam. When the ghetto was empty, they took the Jewish people from Amsterdam, and only then was it our turn. Our term was 20 of June 43. Before my mother was pregnant, that also let us be at home, and then we got this passport and the Palestine exchange papers. At 20 of June, there came the SS man. He went from door to door at that day. They called it a razzia. They closed the whole of Amsterdam South, went from door to door, and they saw who is Jewish. We had our star also at home. 20 minutes time, 20 kilogram of luggage, and downstairs were the Dutch police with vans. We had a very nice Catholic German neighbor. She was sorry for my little sister that had no mother. She always invited me to come to play in her garden. That was forbidden. Jewish people couldn't visit anymore their Christian friends and not the other way. Anna and me, we had a Christian dentist. We had to stop going. And this woman, she was very, very courageous. She went to the man of the SS and she asked him, can I get at least a little girl? And he shouted at her, you, a Dutch Christian, you want a Jewish child? Aren't you ashamed? And then she answered him, I'm a German Christian and I'm not ashamed. But she didn't get the little girl. She fainted. That I learned later from another neighbor. This woman sent us once a package to the camp. I, as a silly little girl without a mother, she died by birth in 42, I packed food and clothes. So professors maybe took books and pencils and paper. And she sent a book about the very first registered nurse in this world. Who knows her name? Exactly. And that was the only book I had for 2 years and 2 months. And after the war, I could tell her I went to be a nurse because of your book. If she would have sent a book about teachers, maybe I would have been a teacher. I cannot say. We had to go down in the van. We were brought to the railway station, and there the cattle cars were waiting for us. And at night we were brought to the Dutch transit camp to the east, Westerbork. Westerbork was not the worst of camps. Westerbork, there was no killing, there was not real beating, there was bad food and hard work. But in Westerbork you had an orphanage. Why would you need an orphanage in a camp? They want to send you to death. So I have to explain. The front girls were in hiding in an office. And they were told, from 9 to 5, people are coming in and out. You have to be very, very silent, without socks, and you have to go around and you have to whisper, and at the toilet not to take down the water.